Please enjoy this upcoming video made by the English-born idiot. What is up, my guys? My name is the English-born idiot, and today, as you will know, my final episode of Batman Arkham Asylum released. And as you also probably know, if you're subscribed, which you should, with notifications turned on by the way, that my opinions and thoughts video were released, my first ones anyway, were released after the 10th video came up. And now since we're done, I decided to do a final thought on Batman Arkham Asylum. And unlike that video, which was kind of basically out of my ass, I have like it all typed out, all kind of ready. Like I have pros, I have intermediates, I have cons, I have conclusion, I have a little bit more in, like sprinkled in. You know, I like to treat y'all. So let's get right into this, with starting off with, of course, the pros. One of my favorite things about the game is the map itself. The Arkham Asylum is very good. Like, the Asylum itself is very good. Traversing across the map is not tedious, but it's not too easy. You know, it's a big enough map with plenty of locations, with multiple entry points. With plenty of entry points, and it doesn't make it too simple for a player to let them explore the location. It lets you take in all of its aesthetics and locations. And if it was too easy, you wouldn't give a shit. You'd be like, okay, done, boom, done, boom, done. If it was too hard, you would just look up online how to fucking do it, and you wouldn't care about the map because it's too hard and you'd just be annoyed by it. Now, another thing that I really enjoy about the game is the story. In my opinion, it's second to the map in terms of high points. It's still fucking great though. Especially for like a first showing of a 4-series franchise. All the villains and all the little things you do lead to Joker, which is a fucking must for main story missions. Like if you have main bosses, they should all like connect with your main villain in a way. Like there should be a reason why you're fighting these villains and how they connect to the main villain. Because like what's the point of like, apart from Batman being Batman, what is the point of fighting these villains? And why them specifically? Which makes sense here. Like it makes sense why you're fighting a lot of these villains. The only one that you can make that you could see any sense of like, okay, doesn't really fit in with Joker's plan is Crocodile. But you see, he does use kind of those, like the Croc electrical abuse slits for the Titans in the penultimate fight. And also the fact that it was, you know, Joker that let Croc out in the first place. So it is all tied in a way, which is very good, which is important. But it is a plus for side story stuff, but it's not necessary. And all those little interview tapes and the Amadeus Arkham stuff is great. Even though I didn't get all of them in the playthrough, it really gives us an insight into all the characters in the asylum and why they help Joker, or in Croc's case, why he's just pissed off in general. And it tells us stuff without breaking the pace of the main story. If you want to not break the pace, that is, because when I was doing it, I did kind of break the pace. And as the third thing, as my pros and my last ones that I have written down anyway, there's a good few more stuff that you can bring in, but that might go into other stuff as well, is the gadgets. For a first game, they offer a wide variety of cool gadgets and upgrades. You can beat up and scare the shit out of thugs and the like. Some of the cool gadgets you get to use are the Ultra Batclaw, which is an upgraded version of the Batclaw. You don't have to upgrade that with points, you just get that through the game. It fires 3 Batclaw shots, which is great for like getting 3 guys kind of knocked down. And also, if you do not know already, if you have not played Arkham Asylum, which I do recommend you do, as it is, even if you think my rating is not good enough for you to like a game, it is the first Arkham game in the series. So if you enjoy the others, I would say check this one out. And it does help you, the Ultra Batclaw helps you take down, walls in the Asylum, which would be an amazing feature for other Arkham games, like Arkham Knight especially, where you have to get all those fucking Riddler trophies in like annoying ass locations and have to fucking like figure out how to break the wall, like you can get it up there. That would be perfect for that. And like, fair enough, you don't get it through like get it how you get the remote batarang in this game, where you have to like unlock it through like actual like points and shit, where you're just kind of like spending like Wayne Tech points on that so you can get it later in the game. So it's not, it's not, like an early game thing, and you're having this basically kind of not like pretty overpowered like thing that can help you get all these Riddler trophies very easily. But it's very like let's say you can only unlock it, let's say very late in the game, like let's say it's scare fight. But that's an Arkham Knight thing. That's not an Arkham Asylum thing. This is a pro for Arkham Asylum, which is a good thing. Now, obviously, as I said, there's intermediate bits. The intermediate is kind of like, there's nothing, like, it's bad, but you can kind of, like, explain a lot of the bad stuff away, and it is pretty good at the same time. And there's good bits, there's bad bits, and the bad can be explained away, but it's just, not good enough to go into the pros. So, and one of them is the combat. As a lot of you know, I complained a hell of a lot about the combat, which partially, through my own admittance, was about me just button mashing too much instead of actually paying attention to the combat, but we'll get into that to another date. But even at times, when I was like, actually trying, it was a bit janky. But that could also be due to the fact that it is a fucking remaster on a more powerful console with different control settings. Like, we're using a DualShock 4, which has a motion sensor thing. The PS3 and Xbox 360 did not have this. So obviously, when it's going up to an upgrade of the console, it's going to have difficulties with that. So, what I did like about it is that all the little things you can do with the combat, and if you're good enough, you get a good enough combo, you can instantly knock out someone. Also, kinda how it works, I didn't like how the backclaw pulled, I didn't know how it kind of pulled people toward you, and you couldn't, fucking give them a clothesline and, elbow drop them. But that's more of, due to hindsight and how I have my knowledge of later games rather than this game itself. If I played this game first when it came out, this would not be a problem, so that's why it's in the intermediate ascension. It's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing. It's intermediate, you know what I mean? You see, you're catching up? I think you are. So, my second intermediate point, I only have two, by the way, is the upgrade system. The system itself, kind of like what you upgrade and all that shit. I kind of feel like it's bare bones, and I know it's the first game of a 4-game franchise, so obviously it's the most bare bones. But I feel like they still, even in it, they still could have done more. Like the remote, for example, the remote control Batarang has one upgrade. That is the upgrade you use to unlock it. It has no other thing. I feel like it is the most useless device in that game, in the thing. Like the Sonic Batarang, you unlock it through points as well. You can also upgrade it to use a detonation, knock out guards that have those collars on them, which is great for later games. Like early-ish games when it's kind of just being introduced, it's not the best. It ain't the best, admittedly, but the second you get into the Predator sections, where every single one of the guys have one of those collars on them, it helps you. However, and which is what the thing of the entire upgrade system does, every single upgrade that you have on the thing is supposed to make your life easier. With the additional health, with the inverted takedown, with the sonic grenade, like I mentioned, the cryptographic sequencer, even though I feel like the distance thing isn't much of an issue. I don't think that's going to be too... I feel like that's on the same thing as a remote Batarang. It's kind of a pointless feature. So if you got rid of those two upgrades and gave another one to, combat, or, gave another one to the... Actually, I don't know what you could have done with the remote control Batarang. Make it so that you could, for a short period, have an electric charge on it that could, knock out enemies for a longer period of time, or just completely knock them out. But you have to, do it in a certain, you only have, a certain amount of time to hit them with the electric field before that electric field wears off. That would be a good idea. I don't know. Maybe it sounds stupid to you, but I feel like that would be a good idea. But, yeah, that's all there is to say on the upgrades. So let's get on to my negative points about it. The boss battles. The boss battles in this game are very repetitive and kind of the same. It's just evade, batarang, evade, etc. With the exception of a few, it's all the same, and even the slightly more creative bosses like Ivy. Ivy specifically, and all the other creative bosses like Croc and Scarecrow, I really like them. I think they're the creme de la creme, and I will get onto that later. But Ivy is just annoying. You just dodge her plant, dodge the little fucking Titan shits, and that and then you just fucking dodge, and then you just hit her with the Batarang explosive gel, and then when she gets low, she has another fucking phase, which is the exact same as the first one, but with guards. There is no point. There is no point in like having that second phase. I thought that was annoying. I would have liked the fight a lot more, and I probably would have put this in the pros, if it wasn't for that, like, you know, the full like repetitiveness of it. Like, of all the guys you fight like multiple titans. You fight like excluding Bane, considering the fact he's he's the least repetitive one. You fight the starter guy. You fight those double ones in the gardens. Then I think you fight another one a bit later on. I'm not going to count the one you fight in Scarecrow's Dream. Then you fight the two guys at the end. That's like 5 different ones. And there's like, apart from that, there's Bane, there's Scarecrow, and then there's like Ivy and Joker. And Croc, of course. That's like 5 bosses. That's like 5 actual bosses. And I feel like that is kind of low, to be honest. And one of them isn't even fucking good. Like, one of those bosses, like 2 of those bosses aren't even actually good. The only 2 that are the ones that I like. And that is because of the fact that it heavily utilizes its environment more than controls. Yeah, you use your controls to beat them, but it's, you know, you have to rely on the environment and your timing and your actual like skill of the game instead of just like button mashing, which is basically what the rest of them are. And my final con, and probably what most people know, especially if you watched my final video, which you should probably watch the entire series before fucking coming here, like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck are you doing, is the Joker boss battle. Yes, I mentioned boss battles earlier, but oh my fucking god. The boss battle, the final fight in the video game, is arguably the most important fight. And the fight itself should stick with gamers in their head for days to come. It should be great on how cinematic, difficult, and how hard you worked from beginning to end, and it should put respect on the character, on how like you got there. And the Joker boss fight was anything fucking but. I mean, the opening was a bit cinematic. The fight is honestly easy as hell. If you're just beating up a bunch of goons, pulling Joker down, hitting him 3 times, and then dodging his attack, then repeat 2 more times. The goons put up more of a challenge than Joker for a character who has been plotting and placing Batman in places Joker wants him to be, and has pretty much been a good few steps ahead of Batman for a good part of the game. Instead of a calculated boss fight where you out-trick Joker, it's just a simple Titan fight with 50 goons. And in conclusion, it's a very solid foundation, with the good things probably being fixed and the bad things, you know, going. The good things being better and the bad things gone. I think it lays the foundation for the rest of the Arkham series. And with that rating, I give it a very fair, and in my opinion, a good 7 out of 10. Also, if you think this rating is too small, this is the first game of a franchise. If the first game is too low, if the first game is the worst, that could be a very much good thing. And also, there will be an outro, so I won't be doing the outro here. So yeah, that's what I say. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and turn on notifications.